Our guest this week has worked as a teacher, a fisherman, a weatherman, singing on Charity Eurostar, and is about to present the Rose of Tralee for the 10th time. Dáithí Ó Sé, you're very welcome to the two Johnnies.
Cheers, Johnny. With that intro, this is the last time I'll be presenting the Rose of Tralee. you have the legs for it and everything. I see here, and the tattoos and everything. Yeah.
There you go.
Is that what the Rose of Tralee needs now? A fella in shorts and tattoos and
That's exactly what it needs.
It's the last thing it needs, I'll tell you.
Well, to balance out 32 rows, you need a kind of a stud muffin kind of guy to come in, like, you know what I mean?
that's your job.
No, listen, when you were kind of there 10 years now. See, when I started off with this whole Rose of Tralee thing, the headlines were great. They're like, Dáithí Ó Sé, he's like the fox in charge of the hen house, right? And you're thinking, yeah, lovely, we're there. No, I'm kind of like the uncle at a wedding, like. And you're going, bollocks, like, how did all that change, like, so fast, like. And then you realise it's 10 years, thinking, oh, jeez, that's how it changed, like, you know.
Oh, the fox in the hen house.
Didn't you meet a Rose?
I met the Rose, yeah. Well, jeez, I met Rita. Actually, I was a judge on the Rose of Tralee the year Rita was in it, like. So her mother reminds me all the time that Rita was in that I was a judge in the Rose of Tralee the year that she didn't win it.
Okay.
So that went down for a while, so she's still a bit sour about that. So 10 years later, so then, like, I got the Rose of Tralee gig. I said, okay, I better find a Rose here now, because this will be good for the headlines. It'll keep me there, right? So I had to marry her then, like, right? 2 years later, I said, geez, I better go down on one knee with this one. So I said, we'll have a child all together. No, and I'll definitely have it for 10 years, and here I am. That's how you get a gig in RT, lads.
I told you, didn't I say?
Yeah.
You need to get into RT now and start getting going there through the roster.
I'll do my best.
Yeah. If there was any other single presenters now, who'll be there? Granny Sugar's kind of gone again.
Yeah.
How does it feel with them? Yeah, so don't worry, I'll sort you up.
She might come back available again.
You'd never know.
Come here, you're looking forward to it. It seems like it's right crack, the Rose of Tralee.
It's great crack. Like I say, there's a lot of hard work before it, and like it's a tough one, because like I say, it's 2-3 hour live shows, so you kind of have to be on the ball for it. So the drinking thing, I don't really do it until the half 11 on Tuesday night, right? When whoever's singing the Rose of Tralee is in the third verse, right? And they're all showing the rose, like, I'm gone. I'm gone. And I've said it before, the boss knows that I'm gone, and that's it. But you go, all right, let's have a few points. Oh, I'm bollocks, I'm tired, I'm wrecked. Everyone has been out all week long, right? Yeah. So I'm the only sober one in the entire diocese of Kerry, right? Not even the county, the diocese, right? And I'm thinking, thanks, lads, you're brilliant now, because I'm here my own drinking, and you're all wrecked. They're all going to bed, and I'm hyper.
Everyone is saying, God, he was drinking on his own below. Yeah. What's going on?
Again.
I'm worried about that fella.
But when I was a judge, I was great crack, because, like, say, even though the judging part is very serious, like, say, you're not on stage all night long. So
who were the other judges that you
when I was there, Sean Kelly, right, former president of the GAA, right?
Was he just checking their first touch, or what?
I suppose he was kind of getting votes for Europe, really. I suppose at that time. So Mary Kennedy was there as well. There was Colleen McPhee, she was the Toronto Rose way back when, and there was Brian Crowley as well, the former MEP. But Sean Kelly, and I remember Sean said, it's great to meet you. I said, Sean, I met you before. This is back in 2008. And he said, when? I said, Sean, in all fairness, I owe you a big thanks. And he said, why? I said, well, you were the supervisor for my leaving cert, right?
Oh, no way.
So I was the only person, might have been the only fella in Kerry, doing economic history for my leaving cert. It's a subject I did on my own. But the exam was on the same time as a history exam. History exam was 3 hours long. Economic history was only 2.5 hours long. And Sean said, don't be in any rush after the 2.5 hours. So I got an extra half an hour inside the exam, like, and I said, fair play to you, Sean, boy, you know.
Oh, that's
come here. So when you're judging, what does it take to win the Rose of Tralee?
Do you know, say, the judging thing is, like, say, people think that you kind of look for negatives. Like, say, we were always on the opposite end of that spectrum, where you're looking for things that stood out, like, because, like, say, every Rose, they have all different accomplishments, be it in school, in college, in sport, with charity. A lot of them would have gone through some serious trauma at home, say parents would have passed away and so on. It's the same thing again this year. So, like, you're looking for a complete picture, I suppose. And then, like, you're like, say, there's the judging part is interesting, that it's one-on-one, right? So you have one Rose coming in, there are 5 judges, each coming with different questions. And then there's a group part of it, where you throw kind of a grenade into the middle, say, like, say, for example, back in the day, it's like, should you allow rugby and soccer into Croke Park? Discuss, right?
No way.
So as judges, then you stand back, right, and you watch it. And like, as if you're a people person watching people and say how they're reacting, it's brilliant. Like, because people are waiting to get in. People are saying, not comfortable, I'm holding back here. And that's part. And then the other part then said the judges are just sitting around hanging around with them just to get a general feel of what they're really, really like. And that's kind of it. Like, I was on the judging panel twice, and I can tell you, and without no lies, right, say what happens is 32, say there's 18 rows the first night, there are 40 the second night. So the last rose comes off, there's a break, there's a big band. Aslan are playing this year, brilliant.
Very good.
Crazy World and everything. So that happens, and then you give away a prize, and then you have to announce the winner.
Yeah.
The band were on stage, we were under the stage of the Rose of Tralee with 2 roses. The Rose of Tralee had yet to be picked, like.
Wow.
So it went down to the wire, and like say, are we all agreed on this? Yes, we are. Okay, this is the person. So you have different kind of bookies opening up books and stuff like that. And it's very strange because, like say, you have 5 people. The 5 in the judging panel haven't even met each other yet, like ever in life, like probably not. Like maybe 2 or 3 of them know each other, and they open book. But it's like it feeds into our show because people are talking about it, and then there's this rose is being backed, the other rose is being backed, and
another thing I'd always be wondering about the Rose of Tralee, you know the boys doing the escorts?
Yeah.
There's a fella now from our club is doing it this year.
Yeah.
And like, what exactly do they do? Do they actually have to look after the women, or are they down in Tralee getting pissed for the week and having the crack and putting on nice
kind of
suits?
answered both the question. There's a serious side to it, I suppose, where they are accompanying the Rose to all these kind of official functions and stuff. So they are there kind of, if they need bandits for whatever, high heels are being worn or whatever. The cool people, around. And carrying, they're good for carrying stuff. And then like they're great fodder for me on stage, because you look down, you can just see your man going, why did I do this? Why? And it's kind of like, say, the kind of more wobbly they are, kind of like I could really shove the chest out and go for them. But at the end, they have a great time when, like, say, I think they'll be off duty maybe around 11 o'clock at night, and after that they have a good time. That's all.
You're the inspiration for them, because you went down and married a Rose. Well, that's why all them lads are going doing it, I'd say, Dáithí.
Oh, well, lads does. Well, I hope they have it. They'll travel a long road now before they get to a ride.
Come here, the Rose of Tralee still going strong.
Yeah.
Like, there's all these things, different things going, Miss Ireland and all that. Like, but what makes the Rose of Tralee different to them and stand out more from them? It's watched all around the world.
Yeah, I suppose there are a few different reasons. First of all, there's a nostalgia element to it. We all remember growing up in some way, shape, or form, and we like that about it. There's an Irishness about it as well, as in, like, say, for me, like, people have different readings of the Rose of Tralee. Mine is that it's a celebration of Irishness. It's a celebration of Irish women. And for example, I think, say, if you want to see what women are doing in Ireland in 2019, as a snapshot, look at the Rose of Tralee. For example, this year we have doctors, we have engineers, right? Yeah. So, but if you go back to 1977, the snapshot would be nurses, teachers, bank assistant, probably PAs, and probably works for an airline. Yeah. But that was of, say, Ireland 1977. So, like, for example, a few years ago, we had a Rose of Tralee who happened to be gay, and the reaction to that was, if that happened in 1977, they'd have been taken down the tent, Father Ted, down with that type of stuff, and that's the reality of it. Like,
true,
and like, say, for example, like, so I've said it a few times during the week, and I was chatting to the Rose about it. Like, say, empowerment is a big word at the moment, like, that's been thrown around, and like, what I'm getting from them, like, that they go up on stage, like, they tell their stories, warts and all, right? They tell funny, embarrassing stories about themselves, and then 2 minutes later, they're talking about losing a brother, or losing a father, or losing a mother. This is in front of 2,000 people, right? And it's going out live on television in front of hundreds of thousands of people. And I think what it takes to get up on stage to talk to a friendly but still relative stranger. I met them. I'll have known them a week, and they're telling me this in front of everyone. I think it takes a lot of courage to do that, and I think those things have been overlooked in the last. I think even since it started, like, that's the whole basis of the Rose of Tralee. These Rose and their stories.
Well, that's the thing. It's almost moved with the generations. You know what I mean? As you said, in the 70s, and nowadays it is probably just an empowerment. I think
we're never going to see a bikini round in it or anything like that.
I've put in letters upon letters, emails, faxes. I set up a Bebo account. And still haven't replied to the Bebo account I set up, but no, certainly not. No, I don't think so.
They've made you do some odd things over the years, Dáithí.
Yeah,
like,
they have.
To showing off their talents and stuff. But what would be your favourite talent for someone to do? Like I always love when the Irish dancing. I just think it's class just to see that anyway. Like, and
Yeah, it's like say.
Or would you have a preference?
You really can't beat a good singer. Like say last year there was a rose from Carlo, Sean Ray Lacey, and she spoke of her father who was a heroin addict who had passed away, and her mom who was a heroin addict and who was in the audience and who was clean, and she just told her life story, and then she told us about her and her partner. They have a child. The child is probably 7 years of age now, right? And she goes up at the end after the chat and she sings, "How can I protect you in this crazy world?" for her father.
Yeah.
And all I can see is her singing, everyone remembering what she's after saying 30 seconds before it, and her daughter standing up in her partner's lap, looking at her mother on stage.
Yeah,
like
that's
you
amazing.
could just feel it, like.
Yeah.
Like say if you were like say you feel these moments inside in the dome, you're going, Jesus, this is just brilliant stuff. Like this is just brilliant stuff, and everyone stands up at the end, and that's what it's about. Like and like so, like say we did a load of crazy stuff in our own crazy world, but there are other moments as well that stand out.
That's class. I love that. Like, can we take you back to the start before you were hosting the Rose of Tralee, the whole lot? Like, we're just looking at our notes here.
Yeah.
Like, you used to be a butcher, then like how did you manage? I used to be a butcher as well. Yeah. So now I'm doing this.
Well, it's a good foundation for broadcasting.
Is that what it is? Is that where it all came from? All your presenting skills now that come from selling meat there.
From other people who can't see the connection, only the great ones would see the connection between butchering and broadcasting. Because now I'm butchering broadcasting.
It's the shy talking you have to do.
It is like say, for example, like say I went into Meath County when I was in secondary school, and I worked every weekend, and then we worked on a Wednesday night as well. So we're clocking up maybe around 30 hours. 25 hours, maybe 30 hours a week. Like, and I really didn't kind of really like school. I didn't really fit into it. I didn't think I was really any good. And I said, yeah, sure, I might stick at this. My brother kind of didn't do his leaving cert. He went butchering. So I kind of fell into the same line. I said, I kind of wanted to pull out of school after the junior cert. My mother said, look, will you do 5th year? I said, look, Mickey's giving me a good job there now. Will you do 5th year? All right, I'll do 5th year, Mum. Fine, no problem. So I was working at the weekends. Sure, you have 5th year, don't you? May as well do 6th year, right? I said, oh, Jesus, all right. I said, I'll do it. So then for the 6th year, then I really went for it. Like I said, for the first time in my life, I said, okay, I had some kind of belief in myself that I can kind of do this. And it was really, say, 5 years beforehand, maybe 40%, 50% of the lads in your class would have went to college. And then 5 years after we did the leaving cert, 95 went to college. It was kind of really that twilight zone. So then I did my leaving cert, and then I got 700 points in my leaving cert because I did it twice. Well, I did it twice, like, and if you put the two of them together, so like I did a load of work. I got 310 points the first year. Oh, jeez, I was really devastated. My brother moved to America. I went to America then for the summer, and I said, "That's it, there. No, I'm not coming home from here. Like we're all American citizens, so we could stay as long as we wanted. Like, and
what brought you home?
The mother." So, because I was working in a nightclub in down Chicago, I was a doorman looking for. Have you ID there, please? I was only 18. Are you 21? You're not 21. Don't lie to me. You're not. So anyway, the mother said, "Will you come home and do that?" I said, "Mom, stop, just stop. No, please, just stop." She said, "Come over. I'll go over for you." I said, "I'll see you Sunday." So I was on a door in a place called Excalibur in downtown Chicago, right, on a Friday, and I was in a school uniform Monday morning, lads.
Oh my God!
It was one of the most depressing places I found myself. Like
mothers are great, aren't they? To get what they want.
And mother she's still on to me to come over.
And how did you get into television? You were on TG4, was it?
Do you know, like I never had any aspirations to be on TV. Like. It's like asking me, like it's like asking a fellow who ended up going to the moon, "Did you ever want to go to the moon?" And I said, "Geez, I don't know, I just landed here." Like I used to work in ferry boats out of the Blasket Islands during the summer, and I was hell bent on becoming a teacher because I fell into, like I said, when I repeated my leaving cert, I said, "Geez, yeah, I kind of like this now," and I liked, I said, "Geez, if fellas like myself there, maybe I could spot a fella like me that I could say, look, boss, come over here." All I really needed was a kind of pat in the back, kick up the arse at the same time, but in the right measures, you know. And if I'd have gotten that maybe when I was 13 or 14, I'd have made something of myself. I always said that. Like, no.
You kind of did. Like,
not going too bad.
But like, say, I was working on the ferry boats, and this fella said to me, "Look, what are you doing?" Like, they're doing screen tests for the weather. I said, "What do you mean they're doing screen tests for the weather on TG4?" I said,
"They're testing the weather.
Would you be interested in doing it?" I said, "Yeah, sure, we'll see." Like, so I said, "You might come up to Galway there. There's one or two other people." I said, "No problem." So I ended up to TG4. I said, "Oh, like, say you want me to go on?" Like, I said, "Look, I have a clue what to do." Like, so your man gave me the script. So anyway, got the script translated. So I went for it anyway. So she said, "Come back down tomorrow. We'll put you on." I said, hang on a second, I don't know again. So that's how it happened. So I was working weekends like in TG Car, like so I was teaching at the time. So when you start teaching, there isn't a whole lot of money there.
Yeah.
So I never qualified as a teacher because I missed the H-dip by about a month. And then when I came back the following year to do it, I got it in Maynooth and I got it in Belfast. And I also got a full-time job in TG Car. So again, the mother was there. What are you doing? Full-time job teaching. The whole thing. I said, Mom, sure, I'll chance this for a year. And sure, I haven't worked since, really.
Never looked back. That's that.
So you were doing the weather on TG Car.
I was doing the weather for...
And if people remember, you were a good man for unbuttoning the top.
Oh, you'd have to, like, yeah. Jeez,
you kind of sexed up the weather a bit, Dáithí, with the buttons down.
So the buttons are being forced out these days. The button can come off the shirt fast, like. But you know, like, say, I kind of approached that like I approached, say, even the Rose of Tralee, like, say, 8 o'clock Monday night, like, you can all follow me now. And there's a bit of that about it. People ask what you bring to the Rose of Tralee. I say, oh my God, don't ask me that question. Like, an unbelievable amount of unprofessionalism, first of all.
Bit of crack.
that you can't underestimate.
I wanted to ask you about your Irish.
Yeah.
So would Irish be your first language?
Like, say, my father would have passed away, say, 6 years ago, and I never spoke English to my father in my life.
Go away.
Unless we were in company, for example, say if there's a person who didn't speak Irish, we wouldn't be rude to speak Irish in front of them. Like, you know,
Where was your home place? Say?
Home place is the guy at the west of Dingle, about 7 miles west of Dingle, at the foot of Mount Brandon. Very close to Ballydavid. So my father comes from there. My mother comes from Castle Island,
and
just outside Castle.
How was
Island.
her Irish?
She had no Irish at all. Like, my parents met in Chicago in the 60s and came home. My eldest brother and sister were born in Chicago. My other brother was made there. And he came out, made in the USA, stamped in his arse in Kerry.
So your mother had no Irish?
My mother went back, and you have to remember the girls there at that time said 1969, where the whole place spoke Irish, and there would have been lots of people who never spoke English ever, like.
And that your mother moved there.
My mother moved there with no Irish at all. Like,
wow!
And there were probably maybe 5 or 6 other people in the parish who would have been in the same situation as well.
That must have been tough.
But my mother, I suppose, then my mother became fluent Irish, and then say we kept Irish students and everything. But I'd say it was very, very tough. Like, she had no care. Like, I remember my mum saying that they moved in with my grandfather. And like, say, the kids running around the place, and my grandfather looking saying, "That's your problem, like, it's not mine." Like, so, and then, like, said, they built their own house the following year. My uncle and my father built a house at home, and so, like, my mother was back there in West Kerry, like, as in no car. My father had to drive the car into Dingle, and the car was home on Friday because my father was home. That was it, like.
Wow.
Yeah. So we, like, say, that was up until we were in school, secondary school. So we had to walk a mile to school and home every day, like. And I say to Reed, she thinks I'm nuts, like, you know.
But like, you're talking about the Irish language there, and everybody's talking about it at the moment, saying like, should it be on the leaving cert and that. Have you any strong opinions on that? Like, it is a bit of our identity as well. Like, we should all have the Irish language.
Like I said, there's definitely there's a few different things when it comes to Irish, and these kind of things come up all the time. Should it be compulsory? Should it not? Like, there's a very, very simple answer to this, like, you know, and the answer, like, say, you want some people saying it's 100% no, and people who like Irish 100% yes.
Yeah.
It's like everything else in the world. The correct answer is somewhere in the middle, like, you know. And my solution to the whole thing, if anyone would ever listen to me, is you make 2 subjects out of Irish. See, the thing about Irish, they don't see any value in it, right? So, like, to put value on something, you have to get value out of it. For example, this is my proposal, right? That it's compulsory that you do a spoken Irish class, okay? For all the way through primary school up until leaving cert, okay? It's treated like a full exam subject, full marks for a spoken Irish. The whole thing is an exam, a spoken exam between you and an examiner, and you get a full mark, full grade on that. Then, if you want to do writing, reading, poetry and everything as an option, you can take that as well if you want. So, for example, if you were good at your spoken Irish, you probably would take the other one with you. Yeah. So, therefore, there's a value in it. So, you really have to doubling the value of Irish there. And again, if you don't want to do the prose and poetry, fine. But you, based on that, should be leaving school being able to speak Irish, like, you know,
decent level.
But the problem really is, like, and like say, it's very, very hard on teachers. You have one good Irish teacher in most secondary schools, okay, one good Irish teacher, and the rest are history teachers, and you have other teachers from other subjects, and they get the pass classes, and they don't give 2 Fs about the whole thing, and that's the truth of it, like, and it's a very, very sad situation, but that is it, like.
I think that's what it is. Like for me, I was never really gone in Irish until I won a scholarship to the Gaeilgeoir, and I went in, and then I enjoyed it, and like Johnnies, well, like we try we try and use it if we can. Like we went to, what was the bar we were trying to talk to the barman one night? You were trying to talk Irishman. He's just looking back to you and it was like, forget about it, lad. We're grand. But they should just make everyone go to the Gaeltacht.
Yeah. Well, see, the whole thing, like, say, when you're talking about a language, like when you speak, unless you're a linguist, it's got to be boring. Like, like I remember being on Tubridy Tonight a few years ago. They asked me, would I come on talking about Irish? I said, forget about it. I said, it's too boring.
Sorry, we'll move on.
I said, it's just too boring, like, you know. So they said, will you just come on? I said, come on, but I'm not telling you what I'm going to say. So I said, what do you mean? I said, he can ask me whatever he wants. I said, I'm not telling you what I'm going to say before. So there was two other people. I mean, listen, they were all talking about how important it was for the heritage and culture. We've heard this stuff millions of times before. Doesn't land on anyone. Everyone's going, this is boring, right? Anyway. So what do I think? I said, I'm in this Irish crack for the money. But you could just see the audience going, Jesus, hang on. The kids are going to girls' school. There's money in this racket, right? So I said, I'm in it for the money. Like, there's money to be made out of the whole thing. So then I said, for example, if a language is still alive, a language is changing all the time. A language is changing if there are new words coming in. So I said, Tubridy, do you know what the Irish vibrator is, right? So you could just see him going, oh, right. I said, it's a bud brega. A bud is your Mickey, right? And brega on is a tie Mickey Tubbs. And you can see him go, oh, I'm gonna kill him, like. But again, like, if that's your approach to it, like, it's just different then, because you have the people who go, two fingers that they go, oh, geez, actually there's a bit of crack here, no?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the approach that should be to it, I think.
Because do you think we'll ever see more people speaking Irish, or is it on the way?
Well, I'd say what's going to happen now is you're going to have more Irish speakers outside the Gaeltacht, with Gael Skull now, all around the country. Like, say, for example, like I was teaching in the Midlands, and I was teaching Leaving Cert Pass Irish, right? And 6 months later, I was teaching 4th class in the Gael Skull. And this is actually my own experiment, right? There was about 20 in each class, and the people who were doing Pass Irish for their Leaving Cert, okay, I won't say what town it was, they were getting...
It's definitely somewhere in Leeds. It had to be.
Not too far. So, like, say, majority probably got D's, and I'd be like, when it comes to marking, I always mark D's, like, that's to encourage them, like, always. So, like, D's, probably 3 or 4 C's. I gave that to 10-year-olds down the Gael Skull in Cork, right, and they all got A's and B's, and I marked it as a Leaving Cert.
Same exam?
Exact same paper. The reading and answering the questions, like.
That's amazing.
Like, say, there's something wrong, like, with that whole system. Then, like, I'd love if everybody would just sit down and say, hang on a second, let's come up with a real plan here now. Listen, I'm not talking about politics. I don't care who's voting for you. Hang on a second, this is bigger than all of us. Let's sit down, have an approach, and how do we go about this before you bring in anything drastic about making subjects compulsory and non-compulsory and so on. Can we have a real chat about it? But who, like, say, you don't want all these people in with the like these Gaeilgeoir with the funny Gaeilge, like, and like, fair play to them too, like, they're proud of it too.
They're
like,
hardcore.
They're hardcore, but like, hardcore never gets you anything. Hardcore can turn off a huge percentage of the people that you could bring in under your wing if you caught them in the right way. Like, so my approach is to try to bring as many in. People come up to me, they'll always speak the first 2 lines of Irish, and that's all I've had. You know, I said, that's a brilliant start, by fair play to you. And like, you can't lose that sense of Irishness. That's kind of equated with the language as well. We can't, like, it is part of who we are. Like, it's there with the GAA, like, it's in us. It's in us, But like, so the thing, you can't go into shop and say, sorry, can I have I'll take a fluent Irish today, please. It's not that simple, like, and if it was, it would be brilliant, but it's not. Like, so you're gonna have to start from the ground up. Like, you're gonna, like, say, when I was in Mary I, you had people doing oral exams in June who were shitting themselves going into an oral exam, and they were teaching in schools in September.
They're just trying to pass so they can teach it.
Yeah, and you're thinking, like, I'd love to get into all those training calls. Hang on a second, we're looking at this the wrong way now. Yeah, you have to do your exams, fine. But can I have a bit of crack with these people first? Yeah. And just kind of instill them. There is a subject, but it's alive and kicking as well.
We need to make Irish crack. Dáithí, before we finish,
make Irish crack again.
We do.
Mary I, a bit of speed dating Australia.
Yeah, speed dating Australia down Mary I. We'll run it. Dáithí, before we finish, we do a quick fire round. Yeah, we do it with all our guests, so we'll bop a few questions. Just whatever comes, first thing comes to your head. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
Sorry for Sam. Sorry, go on.
Quick for a cup of tea. Lions or berries?
Oh, berries.
Custard creams or Jaffa cakes?
Custard creams, the cheap ones.
Yes,
the cheap ones. The cheaper, the better.
Ireland win the Rugby World Cup or Kerry beat the Dubs?
Oh, Kerry beat the Dubs any day of the week.
Who's the best O'Shea brother, Tomás, Dara or Mark?
Jeez.
Which one are you going to see now? Least frequent, I suppose.
Well, you have to say Dara because he has 6 All-Ireland medals. The other 2 have only 5.
No, boys, there you go. No,
you know?
you two or Big Tom?
Oh, Big Tom.
Guinness or Smittix?
Guinness.
Yes.
Westlife or Boyzone?
Jesus, Westlife.
What's a better night out, Dingle or Galway?
Ooh, that's a good one there now. Jesus, I have more hiding spaces in Dingle. I'd say.
I agree, Dingle.
Anne Doyle or Mary Kennedy?
Oh, that's worse than the Dingle Galway one. Oh,
It's getting progressively worse. Worse than the O'Shea's, worse than Dingle Galway.
Gonna have to push it.
threesome.
All right, Johnny.
Led Zeppelin or Declan Ernie?
Led Zeppelin. I'll give it.
Maura Duran or Maura from Love Island?
Another threesome. More doubles.
If there was somebody to play you in a movie about your life, who would it be?
Samuel L. Jackson. For all the obvious reasons.
Because he has the Gaeilgeoir.
Did you have a nickname or anything in school?
Not really, No, not really.
Do you have any tattoos?
I have.
Yeah?
Yeah, I have them here. Yeah, that's Cool Cullen there. Yeah, with a Hurley.
That's class.
I have that for a long time. And then I have one here then. I have Creaernach, Irish Heart, and Foilgoilach Gaelic Blood written on it.
Would you just show Cuchulainn to the camera there for a sec?
Yeah.
That's class.
Obviously, the old pumps aren't working today.
You left them ready for the weekend.
Yeah. So I have another one here. Hang on a second.
Celebrity crush?
Oh, celebrity crush. Oh, gee, Sharni Violan has to be like.
yeah.
I say it straight to her face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a favourite pub in Kerry?
Favourite pub in Kerry? There'd be lots of them in Dingle, really.
Yeah.
You would have Paddy Bomb Brostons, Annie Agnes's, O'Flaherty's. There's a good round of pubs there you can do.
I've yet to find a bad one in England.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good fun. It's good.
If you could fight one person, dead or alive, who would you fight?
Oh, geez, that's a good one. No, I'd have to be able to take him down now because I'd lose a lot of street cred.
It'd have to be someone small.
Someone you could bait now.
Someone small. Jesus, surely to God I'd take Derek Mooney, would it?
There you go. The canteen in RTE. That'd be some.
I'll see you behind the canteen at 4 o'clock, Derek.
Okay, and would you let the two Johnnies host the Rose of Tralee when you finish?
Jeez, lad, you'd be fairly old, I'll tell you.
At what age are you going to retire?
I'm retired when I'm never asked back.
No, you're the right man for the job. Dáithí, people can see you on TV Monday and Tuesday.
Monday and Tuesday at 8 o'clock, yeah.
The very best.
Looking forward. Thanks very much, guys. Thanks for having me on. Gurmagav.
And we'll see you in the afternoons.
Yeah, we're back on the 23rd of September again. Back from Cork, 166 shows.
My God. We call in to see you. We've a book to flog. Thanks,
You'll be welcome. Thanks, lads. Gurmagav.